pairs here. A is 0, 0.
Let me go get my notebook for a second.
Okay, that would be great.
Okay, I got my notebook.
Excellent. Do you have a pencil?
I have a pencil too.
All right, so we're going to plot these points. So let's imagine that the origin, let's imagine that the origin is here. So there's A. B is at 4, 6. So I'm going to go right 4 and then up 6. That's B. And then C is 8, -2.
Okay.
And this makes a triangle. Like
Okay.
if we were to connect all 3 lines here, and I'll do that. That's worth doing here. If we connect all 3. Okay, do you agree that that is a triangle?
Yeah.
Okay, so the question says that we want the perpendicular bisector of line segment AC.
Wait, perpendicular, is it like, oh, the last words for perpendicular, is it OR?
AR,
AR.
but that's not really important. It's the math steps are what are important, but
Okay.
okay, so to draw the perpendicular bisector, we need 2 things. One, we need the midpoint of AC, and 2,
Okay.
we need the slope of AC.
Okay.
All right, so do you remember the equation for the midpoint?
For the midpoint?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just write those down for a second. Okay.
All right, any
Okay.
you got it down? Okay, so I'm going to grab the points A and C, or I'm going to grab all of them, but we only need A and C.
Okay.
Okay, so do you remember the formula for midpoint?
Um,
Do you remember the formula for midpoint?
the formula midpoint, yeah, it's Y1, Y2.
So it's the average of the X's
Okay.
and the average of the Y's.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so what is your X1 in your problem?
The x1 of the problem.
What is your x1? Yeah.
The x1, it is 2.
There's no 2. There's no 2 in any of these points.
Oh.
So which one are you going to call x1? 0
I'll
or
call
8?
it maybe a 0.
Okay. So what is x2 now?
X2 is gonna be 0, 2.
Sorry, x comes before y. You're
It's
acting
8.
like you've
8.
never seen this before. Okay, what is y1?
Y1, that is 0, and y2 is -2.
Okay, so I want you to add these up and divide.
Okay, 0 plus 8, it is. Okay, I think enough. 0 plus 8 is 8, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay, that is gonna be it's 4 and comma. Um,
Sorry, why
we
don't we
divide
take?
by 2, it's 1.
Okay, why don't we? Do you want to take a break until you're ready to do the lesson tonight? I don't feel like you want to really be in this lesson right now. And
No, I'm just trying to think. I'm not anywhere else. I'm right here. I'm just trying to answer 0 plus -2. Yeah, I'm trying to think. That is a very hard problem.
no, this is not, Sourish. You've been doing this all summer, and we even did some last time. If I would go and look,
Okay.
you got to be able to do this. I mean, help me out here. We're barely starting the problem, and we're already having issues. So give me the answer. 4 comma
The
what?
0 plus -2, that is going to be -2 divided by 2, it's -1.
There you go. Okay. Now let's grab the points again, and we're going to find the slope. Do you remember the slope formula?
The slope formula.
Yes.
Yeah, I know what that is. It's
Can you tell me the slope formula?
yeah, y1, y2 plus y1
Minus
minus
y1.
y1, and x2 minus x1.
Good. Okay, so what is y2?
What's y2?
Yes, what is
Y2, that is going to be -2.
okay? About y1.
Y1.
Yes.
Y1, that is going to be 0.
Okay. How about x2?
X2, 8 and 0.
Okay, so I want you to simplify this, please.
-2 minus 0, that is going to be okay, it's 2 and 8 minus, no, it's 2 and 8 minus 0 is 8.
Okay,
Mhm.
I need a final answer from you.
2 divided by 8. That's 4.
It's not 4. All right, Sourish, we're gonna take a 5-minute break, okay? I'm just not sensing you're into this lesson at all, and that's okay.
I'm just
So
thinking, but it's so.
we're gonna take a 5-minute break, okay? And I want you to do whatever you need to do, but you got to come back and you got to be ready. You got to say, I'm gonna ready to do this, Matthew. I'm gonna work my hardest. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
We've done all this before, so I will check in with you at 7:20. Okay. Take a break, close your eyes, whatever you want to do. 7:20. Hey, Sourish, are you ready?
Okay, yeah. I
Okay.
think I know the answer. It's -2.
Okay. So -2 minus 0 is -2.
Mhm.
8 minus 0 is 8.
Yeah, I just used the calculator. That's why.
But the calculator doesn't help you here because you still gave me the wrong answer. You're dividing both the top and bottom by 2. So that's -1/4.
Okay. Wait a minute. Is it like it's something like? Is it like the equivalent fractions? Is like it kind of reminds me of the equivalent fractions.
Yes. 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 Okay. So let's kind of do some of this again, but let's grab our data points here. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to find the midpoint and we're going to find the slope. Okay. So this time
That
we're
is
going
the
to,
answer. 1/4 and 4 -1, right?
it's -1/4.
Negative one.
-1/4. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to do it. We're going to kind of do another problem here. I want you to find the midpoint between A and B. Okay. Now, do you have the midpoint formula written down?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have it written down, can you tell me it?
X1 plus Y2
Nope, that's not
over
correct.
what? X1 plus X2. I just thought it says a Y. It just said a Y, but no. Sorry,
Okay.
guys.
And how about the other one? What's
And
the other one?
that Y1 plus Y2.
Good. All right. Tell me what X1 is.
Tell me what X1 is.
Yes. What is the value of X1?
Okay. All right. So what's the value of, okay. So it's gonna now, so now we're in B, right?
I'm asking you, what is the value of X1?
The value of
You've
X1.
got two ordered pairs here on the left.
Okay.
Which one do you want to be X1?
6.
It can't be 6. 6 is in the Y position. It goes X and then Y.
Okay, it's 0, I would say. 0.
Okay, that's fine. What about X2?
X2, that's gonna be 4.
4 divided by 2. What is Y1?
Y1, it's 0.
Okay. What is Y2?
6.
Okay, so I need you to simplify this for me, please.
Okay. Okay, we're writing those down.
Okay.
Zero plus 4 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2. 0 plus 6 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3.
Good. Okay, now we're going to do the slope.
The slope.
Yes. So do you have the slope formula written down?
Yeah. What? I remember for what it is. It's Y2 minus Y1, X2 minus X1.
Okay. What is the value of Y2?
What is the value of Y2? That is 6.
Okay. And what's the value of Y1?
What is the value of Y1?
Yes.
Y1. That is 0.
Okay. What's the value of X2?
The value of X2. X2, you said, okay. 4 and X. Okay, yeah.
What is x to x1?
0.
Okay, can you simplify this for me?
Yeah. Okay, it's 6 forward and 6, it's 6 forward equals 3 2s.
3/2. Yes, good. Excellent. Okay, so our last set of points here, we're now going to do B and C. Actually, I could just grab B and C. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to find the midpoint and we're going to find the slope.
Okay.
Okay, so I want you to find the midpoint and the slope. So let's start with the midpoint. You've got the formula, you've got pencil and paper. Go ahead and work it out for me. Tell me what you come up with.
Okay.
How are you doing on this one?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm just trying to concentrate on here.
Okay. Okay, Sourish, give me you got to have an answer.
Okay, for the midpoint, it's 6 2, and then you
Good.
divide them, and then they'll give you, it's 6 2.
Yes, that is correct. All right, now let's do the slope.
Yeah, let me do the slope on my own.
Good. All right, how are you doing on this one?
I'm doing good.
What is the slope then?
All right, the slope -8 over 4, and then it equals
Is this what you wrote down for your slope? 8 minus 4, y2 minus, I'm sorry, I have this wrong here. Let me just back up. -2 minus 6 over 8 minus 4. Is this what
yeah, I
you
wrote that down. Yeah,
okay, so what is -2 minus 6?
-8 over 4.
Okay, does that reduce?
Yes.
What does it reduce to?
It reduces to 2, so 2.
It doesn't
So
two. There's a
4.
there's a negative sign. What about that negative?
You know what? No, maybe they're no.
The answer has to be negative. And then what is
All
8
right, you get
divided by 4?
-4.
What is 8 divided by 4?
8 divided by 4 is 2, -2,
-2.
and over 2.
No, sorry. It's 8 divided by 4 is 2. And the
Oh, so
negative
when
comes
there's
with
a
it.
negative, you should just regular just divide.
Yes. And then you keep the negative with the answer.
Okay. Okay.
Great. Okay. So let's talk about what a perpendicular bisector is. Okay.
Okay.
So let me draw a line here. And this line is 10 squares long.
Mhm. Okay. All right.
All right.
Hello?
So yeah. So there's two parts to it: perpendicular and then bisector. So the bisector means to cut it in half. That's what we've done here. See how we've cut it in half? It's the same length, 5 and 5.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Now the perpendicular, the perpendicular means that it meets at a right angle.
Okay.
That's the perpendicular part. Perpendicular means right angle.
Triangle. Okay.
Now
Okay.
now we've drawn it horizontally, but we can also draw it vertically. So let's do that. So this is 8 units tall.
Okay. All right. Hello.
So this is 4 units
Okay.
and this is 4 units.
So they have to they're like the different, they're like the same, similar.
Yes. So what do we call this point right in the middle?
The bisector right there. That's the
The
midpoint.
midpoint. Very good. Okay. Now I'm going to just move this all off to the side. Actually, I didn't quite grab it because I want to actually talk about the next point. So the perpendicular bisector, the word bisector means it's cut in half. That's why we have the midpoint. Perpendicular means it meets at 90 degrees.
Okay.
Okay, have you seen that before?
90 degrees.
Have you seen that in the last round? Remember how it met at 90 degrees? It met at a right angle.
I think so.
Okay. All right, so now let's look at a triangle. I'm going to draw a triangle here. So this is a triangle. A, B, and C. Here is the midpoint between A and C. This line right here goes through the midpoint and it meets at 90 degrees.
Mhm. Okay.
And that's what we're trying to do. So we're trying to come up with the equation of this midpoint and this line. Okay, so we'll spend the last little bit of our lesson doing that. All right. Okay, so we're going to go back to the points that I gave you at the start of the lesson. Let me go grab them. All right, so we start out the lesson. We start out the lesson with these 3 points. And I said, hey, Sourish, I want the midpoint of AC. And you told me the midpoint is 4 comma minus 1. Then I asked you for the slope. Okay, and the slope ended up being minus 1/4. Okay, now do you remember how to find the perpendicular slope?
Perpendicular slope? No.
Yes. So what you do is you flip the numbers. Do you see how I flipped those? The bottom one went to the top went to the bottom.
Okay.
And one more thing, you negate it. So you flip and then negate, flip and then negate.
Okay. All right.
Okay, now what is negative divided by negative? What does that become?
Nate, that's a positive, so it's just 4.
Positive 4, good. Okay. All right, now do you remember the point slope form of a line?
The point slope form of the line.
Yes. Y minus y1 equals slope x minus x1. Have you seen that before? We did it all.
Yeah,
We did
I
this
see
over the
that, I
summer,
see
but I
that.
mean, maybe it's been a few weeks. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
All right. So you need 2 things. You need a point. Do we have a point? We've got a point. There's our point. And then we need a slope. There's our slope. So we're going to use that point and that slope in this equation.
Okay.
So it becomes y minus minus 1. Slope is 4, x minus 4. So see how I
Okay.
used this point and this slope.
Okay.
Okay, let's do another one here. So we also looked at
Okay.
AB, and we want the midpoint of AB. And you told me you were able to calculate it was 2 comma 3, and then the slope of AB, okay, ended up being 3/2. But we want the perpendicular slope.
Okay.
So do you remember from the previous problem how we did that? How did we find the perpendicular slope? What did we do first?
We should we should just make it like order pair.
Nope, let's go back and look. Okay, what did we do to this fraction right here?
We use it as we flipped it around like
Flipped it, yeah. So we're going to do that here. We're going to flip it
2/3.
2/3, but then you also negate it.
Okay.
Okay, and then you write the point slope form of a line. So
Okay.
you use this point, okay, and then you use this slope right there. So can you write the equation where you substitute in for y1, x1 right here, and then substitute the slope in for m? Can you do that for me, please?
Maybe I could try. I'll try.
All you're doing is writing the same equation, but you're just putting numbers in instead of letters. And I've even pointed out where you want to substitute the numbers.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Got it. Y1 is 3 and
Yes, and x1 is?
X1 is 2.
Yes. So I want you to write out the equation.
The equation is -2/3 because m is the equation.
Well, the slope is -2/3.
Okay.
Like I'm asking you, imagine this box represents your final answer. What goes in the box?
Okay, y minus 3 equals negative 2/3, parentheses x minus 2.
Yes, yes, very good. That's
Thank you.
awesome. All right, we're almost done. Okay, so now we wanted to find the midpoint of BC. The midpoint of BC was 6, 2, and then we wanted the slope of BC, which ended up being -2. Okay, now we need to find the perpendicular slope. So
Okay.
you have to flip this, but notice it's not a fraction, so you make it a fraction. So
Okay.
when you flip it, 1 goes on the top, -2 goes on the bottom, but there's one more thing. What's the last thing you do after you flip it? It's the second step.
The last thing you have to do after you flip
You
it.
flip it, and then there's one more thing you do. Flip,
Flip the
negate.
flip the gate.
No, negate, negative,
The gate? What's
negate.
that?
It's an action verb to make something negative.
Okay.
Okay, 2 negatives, do they cancel?
And do they cancel? The negatives, they cancel? No. I mean, yeah.
Yes. All right. So here's your equation in point slope form. Here's your point. Here's your slope. I want you to write the equation. I want to know the equation that I'm going to put in this box here. I want your final answer. Okay. So let me know whenever you're ready for that.
Y minus 2 equals 1/2 x minus 6.
Hooray. Yes. Fantastic. Take a deep breath. Really good.
Yeah.
All right. Is your dad around? Does he want to talk?
Wait, we're done for today?
Well, we're at 45. We pretty much done.
Yeah,
So-
well, thank you, Matthew.
You're welcome. Does your dad want to talk or?
Yeah, Dad? Dad? Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
He's